You put it right there.
I don't think I moved it.
Hey, Savannah Mooney.
Good morning. Let's see. I feel like I need to be quiet. That's not helpful.
I know. But we don't. Let's get this going, girlfriend. Hello, check. Good morning, guys. What's up, Josh? Bink. Hello. Why is that so low? This ain't no good. Turn that stuff up.
Hold on.
Hey, Christina. Good morning. We have missed you for a couple of weeks. Where you been? Vacation or something?
Canada?
Hello?
Check.
Hello?
Yours is...
Turn me up, please. Check. Oh, yeah, that's better.
Check. Talk again?
Check. Hello? Testing.
Check.
Test. Hello. Good morning and welcome. Hello. Let's see. I took a social media. Ooh, okay. Does that include podcasts? Is podcast considered social media? I guess it is.
I wouldn't... No, social is like you post stuff.
Oh.
And watch people's posts.
Perhaps. But you can still listen to a podcast, though, right? We don't know. What mics do you use?
I prefer the Shure SM58.
And this one is
I think it's better. That one's a Sennheiser. But I don't like that one.
E835.
I like this one for my voice, though. When I talk into that one, I feel like it sounds bad.
Yeah, I think the SM58 or 57 are the best. That's what we would all use in the band. So let's see, taking you guys to the pool with me. Awesome. Good job. And you were off of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and yes, I was listening to just not on the live feeds. Oh, okay. Yeah. Good morning, Sedangron. That should be a whole video, like reading people's handles and stuff, because it makes sense if you know what it is, but it's like, I don't know where to end or what. Yeah, 58s
I like
are good.
them a lot. I've used a handful of different mics, and it's just the one I like the best. And it's like super tough. Like, I love stuff that can...
Do you know how many SM58s have been smashed at concerts?
By rock stars.
Or hit on people's faces and heads?
A lot.
A zill. I never
got
Shure. Hit with the mic.
The brand, Shure.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like they're high quality.
Good morning. Hello. Welcome. I'm super glad that you guys are on Instagram Live and also Facebook Live. Good morning, Brittany. Hello.
I'm almost done with my banana. Just give me a moment.
All right. Not sure what's going on.
I don't have smoothies.
I've heard you read mine in a few different ways, and I laugh every time. Mama in the wild. That's right? Or it could be like, Ma'am ain't wild. Ma'am ain't wild.
I like the cozy in Ohio.
Oh yeah.
Cozy in here.
I thought it was like, oh, this maybe it's Japanese. I don't know. Not sure.
That was really funny.
Okay. We got 3 questions. One's a doozy, a long one. So we're going to try to get through it and keep it under 25 minutes. So let's do this. Plus I have to go. What time is it? 7:12? Okay. Let's see. Don't want to say too much, but just wanted to say I was really touched by your video this morning, Mel, and really honor your vulnerability. Yeah.
It is the best. And like, the responses are unbelievably helpful. Like things that I've heard at one point but I completely forgot, new ideas. I mean, it's just, I am blown away by it. So
yeah, I'm continuously surprised by our Facebook group community. It's really cool. It's just collective wisdom, and I appreciate it. I
hope that the men are doing as good as the women. We slay all day. So
#slay.
Do you slay in the men's group?
Basically.
Why are we talking into our microphones? They don't even plug into that.
So I can hear myself. #goals. You're the freaking bomb, basically. Me? Thanks.
Anyway.
All right.
I need to put chapstick on.
Oh my goodness. Are you
it's right here.
This
is my endless chapstick
you're
supply.
To chapstick. It's not.
That's right. I want to be sponsored by chapstick.
It's not healthy.
It is healthy.
Hey, Nat Grace Spencer. What's up?
All right, I'm ready to go.
All right. Finally.
I have finished eating the banana.
Got it.
Check.
Press the
Thank
button.
you for waiting.
Press the button
While
that
it's dying.
record the voices.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the Anatomy of Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
Good morning. My name is Seth Studley. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, and today is day 48 of the AOM questions, 100 days of questions. Today we're going to talk about narcissist personalities, a chance to rebuild, and in-laws. Again.
If you're new here, welcome. We have over 260 shows about all things marriage and relationship topically. I can never say that right. And we are so glad that you're here. We're so glad that you're following and listening and joining in. Mm-hmm. And as always, our show is brought to you by Audible. Our absolute favorite thing in the planet is Audible. I mean, our kids are nice too, but Audible, we love audiobooks. Go to audibletrial.com/anatomy of marriage to get your free, that's Free, audiobook on us. Go do that, please. Go do that. And thank you, Audible, for sponsoring our show.
You'll like it, trust me. And good morning to Instagram and Facebook Live, which we go live every single day. Thanks, guys, for joining us today. So let's get into the review of the day, right? All right. Review of the day. Ellen Ingersoll, 5 stars. Thank you for being so real. Our marriage is so different now from the beginning after going through a spousal betrayal. Realizing we weren't pouring into each other before and not growing with each other. We searched for couples podcasts and found yours. It has been so helpful for me in healing and so helpful for my husband in learning growth mindset. Thank you for being so real and vulnerable with your listeners and showing other people that growing a marriage into something great is possible even after a painful experience.
Thank you for that review, and thank you for sharing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. Good morning, Brittany. I already said that. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Andy.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. You too.
Thank you so much for sending that review in. And as always, if you are enjoying the show or if you care about our feelings, write a review and send it in.
If you care.
All right, just dive into question number 1.
You read the first one.
Oh. I just started your podcast and absolutely love it. I just finished chapter 9. So this person is talking about season 1 of the podcast. Mm-hmm. Chapter 9 about identity, and wow, mind blown. My question to you is, I know you've touched on this a little, but what about narcissist personalities? Is there an episode you can refer me to? My husband has some form of this, and everything I read says run far away and that he will never change, but we have kids. And then I listened to chapter 9 and now I'm left scratching my head. We are in the midst of a major struggle, trying counseling, and I would really appreciate your insight. I can't tell you how much I appreciate what you're doing. You are a light for so many people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sending in the question, too. So there's a couple different personality traits, and then we call it axis 2 personality disorders, like narcissist personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, and I think like a handful more histrionic personality disorder. There's a couple. Most that I've dealt with have been borderline personality disorders and some narcissists. So I don't want to, and these things actually don't change. So I don't want to like jump in and say, oh, your husband's narcissist NPD, right? Because that takes a long time of diagnosis. That takes a long time of figuring stuff out. And just like a lot of us try to like be our own web MD and go to stuff and go, oh my goodness, they do 2 of these things. They're this forever, right? So I'm not saying that you are wrong here, but I want you to put the brakes on and slow down a minute, right? Mm-hmm. I thought that I have like been a narcissist personality. Well, not really, but like
you thought for sure that I was for a long time.
No, I never thought you were a narcissist. I think we all have narcissist traits, and we're all selfish, and just because we are these traits for a good amount of time doesn't mean like, oh my goodness, they are this and they're not going to change, right? So I'm super glad that you guys are in counseling for this. I'm not sure what the struggle is because you guys don't say, but go into this, have an open mind, support, see what he needs, right, for himself. And if he's saying things like, well, I could do this if you would do this, or you do this. We've had tons of callers who are like pushing their issues onto their projecting onto their partner and saying, well, if you would just do this, blah, blah, blah. That is like rampant, especially in our culture, and guys do this all the time. Oh, they're women, don't do this, and so I can't do this, and it's just ridiculous. So maybe that's it. So maybe he has to do some real individual work and go, oh, I'm not a narcissist. I was just being an idiot and not being introspective and not taking care of my own stuff, putting it on her.
Yeah, well, I definitely think that, if you have any, okay, let me start over. A lot of times we are not really adults in our emotional intelligence levels, if that makes sense. So when I was presenting as like a preteen, emotional preteen, I was moody and unstable and unkind and didn't see like kind of beyond myself, right? And so I feel like that the next level of personal growth and development relationally and emotionally for every human once they're past 25 is to become an emotional adult. And a lot of us are definitely not there. We know we could be there. We see other people that are there and we think, oh, well, I'm old. I'm there, right? I'm an adult. I'm there, but we're totally not. And so in our relationship, my selfishness presented like narcissism, I think, because one, I was really selfish. I didn't know how to not be selfish. Two, I was like, what? Deal with it. Which sounds very narcissistic. Like, I can't even align to your feelings. Right. Idiot. Right. I want what I want. Right. I was being a jerk because I wasn't emotionally an adult yet. But I thought I was. I totally thought, and like, nobody said I wasn't. The church counselor didn't say I wasn't. Nobody was like, hey, time to grow up now. Yeah. Like to stop being a baby about everything. And so I think that I like the idea of asking him what he needs and wants and kind of thinking of it that way. But the hard part is that if he's like I was, his answer is going to sound like a narcissist. It's going to sound like, I just want more of my time and I want you to do things in my way, right? That's not great. But so it's a struggle there. But also I think I emailed back and said I would look into Enneagram stuff. I don't know if you looked at Enneagram stuff at all. It's been super helpful for me to understand that I'm a 7 with an 8 wing, and an 8 is like the jerk of the Enneagram. Not that every 8 is a jerk. I'm a jerk. But I have a tendency when I'm like stressed out or I feel whatever.
You go to a bad 8.
Yeah, I have a tendency to have all the narcissist-ish traits when I've been unhealthy and if I get really stressed out. I
should just learn everything about like your Enneagram when you go to stress and just look it up and go, I'm not taking that answer. You're doing this.
We should have Enneagram pillows for every type, and when I'm stressed, you throw that one at me.
That would really empower me because I like hate conflict.
You pick up the pillow like He-Man and throw it at me?
And I get stressed out like super big and I'd be like, you're doing number 1. I'm not falling for it. I'm not being a jerk. You're doing this. Peace the F out.
That was funny.
Right?
Yeah, but I think there's a lot to consider in that question, but I will... What are you scrolling? I can't read it. But I don't know. Thank you for sharing it, and I want to just protect your heart around that because when Seth would point out or say that I was doing something that seemed narcissistic to him, I only sort of flared up as more of it. Yeah, so, but that does not mean that I couldn't grow and change and all of that stuff. So,
Wife and Life says, sorry that other numbers can't keep up. It's probably what an 8 would say, right?
That's funny.
Okay, this is a long question, so I'm going to read it. Hey, Melanie and Seth, I listened to all your episodes some 3 or 4 times. It is extremely frustrating to me that as married people, most of us go looking for this kind of content after it's most likely too late. We could just sit on that right there. My wife and myself have been together since high school, moved in at 19, married at 30, traumatic childhoods. I hate using that as an excuse for my awful behavior over the past 30 years. I've cheated on her 3 times, once when we were teenagers, once in early 20s when we got married, and the last time after we were married for 6 years. I've been faithful ever since. We were together 13 years before. Let's see. I've always truly loved her. I've hurt her in several different ways, several different times. I've been physically abusive, never hit, kick, punch, or slap, but grabbed her arm on several occasions in huge blowouts. During a break, let's see, we went on a family vacation. We were playing something. I drank a ton of alcohol, and she swung at me, and then I put her in a headlock, and you both fell to the ground. I landed on the ground with my hands. We scraped knuckles. We scraped knees, and she maybe broke her finger. Since that night, We've been trying to mend our relationship. I was asked to leave the house. I left for several months. We had a massive fight, and then I told her I was moving back in no matter what. That fight was over the phone. She came home after being out with friends, and that night we had sex. Since then, I've slept downstairs in my room, and we have not had sex since, so that's probably, I don't know, 6 months or so. I've asked her repeatedly to give me a chance to show her and understand how my behavior has been essy. I'll bleep that out. And I've been going to a therapist since August, group anger management, domestic disturbance class once a week. I've learned so much. I listen to podcasts, read books, and every time I have a free moment, I try to do good stuff. Let's see. What can I do? I have to build trust here. Let's see. I've tried to explain to her that I think I truly feel her pain, but I don't think she believes me. I've been extremely faithful for the past 11 years, but have not been the best husband. What can I do? What can I do? We went to church as teenagers, but haven't gone in a long time, and I don't consider myself spiritual. Please give some insight. Melanie, I relate with you and your past behavior so well. I feel like I have so many similar behavior traits and family origin traits. Seth, you were quite like my wife as well, and I think these are also reasons why I'm drawn to your podcast. Okay, so there is a bunch of stuff, and you're trying to rebuild trust after a long time of bad behavior, after a long time of hurt, after a long time of mistrust, and then culminating with a couple of domestic violence things, right? So this is how I dealt with it when Melanie just like wanted absolute zero, would text me, I want a divorce, give me a divorce, I'm divorcing you. And I would just be like, no, we're not doing that. I remember very specifically, no, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. And I would come home and say to myself, and also write in my journal for, I don't know, months, well, for probably a year and a half, like, Melanie doesn't owe you anything. And this was my mindset. We both were wrong, and we were both like just grabbing on the spaghetti strings, you know, and falling all the time. But I went in it with like, I don't expect anything from her. Mm-hmm. If we have a good hour, if we have a good 10 minutes, then the next 23 hours and 30 minutes are terrible. Okay, that's what it is, right? And I was super depressed, I was super distraught, and I hated every second of life, right? Mm-hmm. But I went in with the mindset of, she doesn't owe me anything, don't expect anything from her. For a time period. Now, I'm not saying that was exactly right. I'm just saying it was helpful for me and my perception of the whole thing. And when we have like years and years and years of hurt like this, of being a terrible husband, of alcohol stuff, of being like aggressive, grabbing arms, and then culminating that crazy thing, then you can't expect anything. Mm-hmm. You just have to be, whatever I get out of this, then fine. I'm going to decide to walk as upright as I can. Don't do any of that old stupid behavior, because you see where it got you. So that same behavior is not going to get you anywhere that you want to be. Mm-hmm. And understand, like, all right, I'm sorry. It's like the most humbling experience ever. It's like, I'm a piece of S. I did mess up, but I don't expect anything. I'm just trying to do myself and do me, not like in a selfish way, but just like, okay, anything I get is like icing on the cake kind of thing. Well, there's not even a cake. It's just a crumb.
Icing on the crumb.
Right.
One of the things that came to mind, one of the pictures that sort of popped into my head as Seth was talking, goes back to what we were saying in the first question, where it's like this person, and I was just like this, so hear me talking to myself when I answer this and say this, is that they are trying to transition from being an emotional preteen into being an emotional adult. And I'm sure you've been an adult for a long time physically, but emotionally, no way.
Right.
And what it's like is you're saying, I've been faithful for this long, and why doesn't she this, and blah, blah, blah. And here's the perfect image that came into my mind. You and I are just like a-hole kids, and we've gone into a room and we tore the place up, right? We tore up everything. We took the curtains off the walls, we threw clothes, we knocked over furniture, and we just think we can walk out of that room and not clean it up. But when you're an adult, it's your freaking responsibility to clean up that room.
And you also can't walk into that same room where crap is all over the place and go, well, I'm not tearing more crap up, so
why aren't you happy with me?
It's good,
yeah.
Right?
You have to clean up the actual mess you made, right?
That's an excuse that a lot of people use, like, and sure, I understand it, and I can be compassionate with it, and I've even said it before, and I like, like when we've had arguments, I'm like, I'm not like so-and-so staying out
Yeah.
until whatever and playing video games all day. Sure, I'm not, but just because I'm not doing that doesn't mean that
what other mess have you actually made? Yeah.
Bad behavior or behavior
It's
that
like
you want to see
saying,
change.
you're an arsonist, but I don't do graffiti. Like, what? Not helpful.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Not relevant, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of what's going on is that what does that say?
Moment in the wild, and that mindset has to be mutual. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Maybe the
cleaning of the broom concept?
I don't know.
Well, that's a good point to the
Can you
mutual
clarify?
mindsets.
Exactly. That's what it takes. That's what it takes, the hard work. Yeah, it just takes hard work on both people's part. And so, okay, I've been faithful for 11 years. Okay, that's great. Have you been emotionally supportive? Have you attuned to her? Have you done all these other things that don't look like your old behavior that got you to this place?
It's so weird. It really is like, it's like if I told my kid I needed to clean your room and they're like, I've put my shoes away for 11 years, Mom. Why aren't you happy with that? It's like, because your whole room is a nightmare and you're not putting anything else away. Just because you put your shoes away, great. Right. But you have as an adult, you have a lot more responsibility.
Yeah, and we're not bashing on this person. I've been guilty of it too, but it's just like, okay, you've done that. Great. You've been faithful for 11 years. Okay.
Have you picked up the mess?
Don't say mean things. Have you attuned? You say that you're doing books and podcasts and therapy. That is awesome. You are taking the steps. And when I was in the thick of things, I was doing all that I thought I could do as well. But it's just like, okay, it just takes time, I guess, you know?
Yeah. And there's I go back to that. I think this is what becoming an emotional adult looks like. It looks like hard work, uncomfortable conversations. You know it's hard work because you freaking made the mess, but you got to clean it, right? But here's the second part of that, and I'm going to use a different analogy, like an injury. So if, let's say I get a massive cut on my arm. I mean, it's just like Mondo, needs stitches, but it's...
That's funny.
Tease me now. But I have a massive cut on my arm, and I go to the doctor, they stitch it up, it's like, whatever. And what if I just stare at it every day and like poke it every single day? And I go, see it? And I got the stitches, but, and like we just touch it all the time. It's going to get infected and it isn't going to heal. There is an element of, you have to actually stop focusing on the cut that's on your arm. You have to stop focusing on all the bad things that have happened, and you need to, it's like driving forward but looking in the rearview mirror. You're going to crash, right? You have to like shift your mindset and focus it on what you want moving forward. That's what an adult will do. An emotional adult who is healthy and well will do that. And I wish someone had told me this all those years ago when we were going through everything. But thank you for the question.
Yeah, good question.
I know that's hard.
Good luck. Do follow-up questions if you want some more insights. Okay. My father-in-law makes crazy statements about never being able to do a 9 to 5. The way he eats is the only and best way to eat. We should jump on his latest supplements and diet. He won't have a job that's stressful. Let's see.
And
all right, finish the reading.
You should have edited this one.
Sorry.
So it's father-in-law problems, and basically what it is the father-in-law keeps telling these people how to live, right? Like, he says that they aren't doing a good job making money, or the way that they eat, or their lifestyle isn't good enough. Let's see. He keeps pushing and does things where he says hurtful things in a joking way, and it hurts our feelings.
In a joking way, as to get away with it. My husband does too, but we've been working on it because it hurts my feelings, and then I react. So yeah, husband does it because dad does it. That's not a surprise with family of origin. Yesterday we talked about it. He briefly apologized and kept doing it, saying it's in a loving way. How can we...
No. So basically it's saying, how can we deal with this behavior in father-in-law issues? Because it's really weird because I just think of my family. My family's great. But like especially my grandparents, they're both passed away now, but it's almost like they could never say anything serious to us. Like everything had to be a joke almost. And maybe that was just only as we became teenagers and adults or whatever. But at some point I remember feeling like it hurts my feelings a lot that they can't just talk to me normally. And it's a totally like, they just learned it. That's how they are. It's almost like you can't You're not going to change it.
Yeah.
That's how they relate to you. And it's really hard when because what Dave Ramsey calls it the powdered butt syndrome.
Right.
Like when a parent treats a child a certain way, there's almost nothing you can do that's going to make it change.
When the kids are trying to make a difference, like trying to change their family, like say getting out of debt, and then the kids go back to mom and dad and try to talk to them about money. It's
or say like, we're trying to get out of debt, so we're not going to go on vacation this year. You have an adult parent who essentially teases you because they're like, I know better, but that's you know what I mean? I don't know. I think that's a really hard situation to be in.
Yeah.
I guess proximity is the first thing I think. Are you constantly around this person?
Well, it says that he's been visiting for a while, which, okay, maybe there's an end in sight and just deal with that. I would say that you have to lock arms with your husband and be together on the same page because it's no good feeling feeling like your spouse and their parents are on the same page and you're not on the same page with your spouse. That sucks. I would just say stand firm, keep your boundaries, tell your husband every single time that it bothers you and say, I'm not being unreasonable. This is not okay. You know how he makes you feel. He's making me feel that same way.
Yeah.
Which
Your
is
husband
not cool.
definitely probably can't fix it though. So I want to just say that. That's what I was doing to Seth. When I would have my feelings hurt when we were first married, I would essentially be like, why aren't you fixing this?
Right.
And it's like, he can't.
Yeah.
I just need to grow up. And so that's the, the saying that like a water off a duck's back. Like you see in water on a duck's back, it just rolls off. Get that skin, develop those feathers. That's part of being an emotional adult as well.
That's true. That's really hard though, because then you're like sitting in it. And I can remember times when my own friend's dad, I used to work with him, would do stuff. And it was like literally nothing I could do. And it just...
Nothing you could do was right. And he teased you all the time. But that was
I wasn't
literally
married, right?
how he talks to everyone though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and so I think there's an element of like, some people are just going to do that. And some people are going to do it forever. And you got to figure out what you let in and what you just let roll off your back.
Yeah.
And very much on purpose. And if it's causing you harm or makes you feel upset or causes tension in your marriage, pray about it, talk about it, work through it together as a team. But just don't expect your partner to fix it for you, which it doesn't sound like you are, but that's just something I was doing, which is causing a lot more problems.
Yeah. Can I just bottle a mini motivational Melanie and carry her in my pocket?
I want to be a motivational speaker so bad.
Well, maybe you'll get your chance with some plans that we have coming up. So, it's hard when you have kids too, and you want them to have a relationship with them.
Yes,
that's really hard.
And that's something we've dealt with too, where it's like what's being modeled in some of the people we love the most. What's being modeled is not what we want to have in our family, in our own home. Yeah, and so it's really complicated because you're trying to teach your children, love everybody regardless of what they do, but then also be like, yeah, but that behavior actually is hurtful. Yeah. So I think that idea of really developing the thick skin where we need to like the soles of your feet are thick, right? We need thick skin on the soles of our feet. If we didn't have thick soles, thick soles, that's a weird word. If we didn't have that, we would be in pain all the time, right? Right. If we had thin skin on our feet, we would be in pain all the time. And so we just need to figure out how we can do that, where we need to do that, because we can't change other people. We really can't. And I don't know. I like that question. I think it's really helpful. And I think it's helpful to think of it that way. Yeah, and there's never really one solid answer. It's like, okay, this worked, or you talk to your husband or talk to your spouse about, okay, what do we want to do? Sure, we can kind of like schedule the times that they go over there and then talk to them and stuff. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. But it doesn't mean it's not possible. Yeah. And I like to reframe the blessing of in-laws sometimes, like a babysitter, or they're teaching them lessons, or they provide this or that love. That helps me to reframe stuff. There's a lot, like the intergenerational aspect is extremely important in our current society. We don't have that very often. So yeah, that's a good point. Reframe it. Reframe it. And good morning. Great questions. Thanks for the interaction. That's good and differentiating. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, it's a good point. Honey. Hey, Leslie, what's up? Hey. So, you guys, thank you. Wrapping it up. I got to go. Please remember to go to audibletrial.com/anatomy of marriage to get your free audiobook. That's absolutely free. And we live there. I'm going to listen to stuff today on the drive to work.
and throughout the day, and share. And also, please go to iTunes or wherever you get your podcast and rate and review the show. That really helps us.
Thank you for the new ratings. A bunch of people rated too recently.
Awesome.
And I want to do a shout out to the women's group again. Like, thank you so much for the support. Emotional support I posted a video about stuff we're going through with parenting. It's really hard right now. And so I'm using the women's group as my personal therapy place. And I kind of said it. I'm like, sorry, not sorry. I need this. And so it's been amazing. Like, the outpouring has been amazing. So I invite you, if you're a lady, no men are allowed, to join the women's group. And if you're a man, join the men's group and use it to your advantage. This is a community that loves you, cares about you, wants you to succeed, and has insight and wisdom. So use it. So I am using it now that way, and it's so incredibly helpful. So thank you, ladies. All your insights are just amazing. What?
Am I your personal therapist?
Oh, gosh.
You've been in therapy for 15 years? Intense therapy?
Oh, jeez. You're my personal something.
You're messed up. No, I'm just kidding.
But yes, so please join those groups, and thank you, every lady who said something wonderful and gave me a virtual hug. Thank you.
That's right. All right. Peace out, guys. We'll catch you tomorrow. Happy Wednesday.
I was going to say something.
Happy hump day.
There was something I was going to say and I lost it. Oh, no, I know what it was going to be. Everybody who's listening and said to themselves, I want Melanie to be a motivational speaker. Tell me how to do it. Help me do it. I'm stuck.
That's right.
It is literally my dream, but I'm stuck. So
the encouragement from the women's group is actually really amazing.
It is amazing. Like, you put something in the group and it's like everyone, it's just like you have a whole, like a group of mothers, and I don't mean that in a demeaning way at all. They're like the best mothers, and they're all just
nurturing.
Like, I will help you now, and this is what I've walked through,
awesome.
and whatever. It is the actual best thing.
That's awesome.
Imagine if we could meet in real life.
Yeah, meeting in real life, July 25th, Seattle, Washington, Pacific Northwest. July 25th. We are having a meetup. Go to the Eventbrite link that we need to share again today. I'll put it on Facebook. And go there, please. Space is really limited, and it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be so fun. If you like to drink,
if you like to eat, if you like, drink water. I don't care. Or beer. It doesn't matter. Play games, and then afterwards we'll walk around the city. We'll go to coffee houses and have delicious desserts.
It's going to be so fun.
It's going to be totally rad. So come here. Bunch of our friends are going. I freaking wish it wasn't so far from Michigan. I would love to be there with you. We would love you to be there too.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
15 minutes flat and had at least 7 responses. Yeah. In the women's group.
In the women's group. So, it is amazing. So, okay. Well, thank you. I know Seth's got to go. So
peace out. Love you guys. Bye. Have a good day.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks.
And they call
Maybe
it
we'll do an AOM Detroit. Actually, I think we'll be in Detroit in a layover.
When?
November.
Where?
Detroit.
Where are we going in November?
All right. Let's see. I've been able to rate the show because I use an Android phone and either listen to it. That's all right, man. Thank you so much for trying. Just even that, knowing.
Yeah.
That's sweet. So, thanks, man.
Thank you.
And, all right. Heck yeah. Okay, so let's see. We got to go. Love you guys. Bye.
Have a good one.